Cooper Flagg has been labeled as a generational prospect throughout his entire collegiate tenure, and after getting drafted with the #1 overall pick to the Dallas Mavericks, he's in a more interesting situation. As we all know, the Dallas Mavericks on February 1st, 2025 sent over Luka Doncic to the Los Angeles Lakers and received Anthony Davis and Max Christie. With Cooper Flagg coming into the very interesting situation in Dallas, he's going to be looked at very highly to kind of be the replacement of Luka Doncic and bring this team back to the very exciting future that they once had. And I think this is a very interesting situation because Cooper Flagg isn't like every prospect. One, he's one of the youngest prospects in the entire draft, and he's going to be asked to fit in a situation where a team is looking to win now and progress him for the future. So, ladies and gentlemen, in this episode of At the Buzzer Sports, we are going to be talking about what a realistic rookie season can look like for Cooper Flagg. Let's get right into it. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to a brand new episode of At the Buzzer Sports, where we talk all things basketball all the time. And the question presents itself: how good can Cooper Flagg be realistically in his rookie season? And this is just going to be another yap session, I'm not going to lie, but I want to talk about Cooper Flagg because he is one of the bigger prospects we've seen over the past 25 years. I mean, you have obviously your LeBrons, your Wembys, your Anthony Davises, your Cade Cunninghams, your Anthony Edwards, your Zion Williamsons. And out of all of those guys I just named, I would think Cooper Flagg is probably going to the best team, a team full of versatile defenders, a bunch of 6'7" to 6'9" wings with guys like Klay Thompson, Max Christie, PJ Washington, Najee Marshall. And then you have the center rotation where you have Daniel Gafford and Derek Lively. And then you also throw Anthony Davis into that. They also brought in a signing of D'Angelo Russell, who's going to be like that lead ball handler when Kyrie's not on the floor, because we all know Kyrie Irving's going to miss majority of the season. So how does Cooper Flagg fit into all of that? How do you ask an 18-year-old to fit into a team that is kind of like pressure to make a deep playoff run after trading Luka Doncic in one of the biggest trades we've ever seen? So how do you ask an 18-year-old Cooper Flagg, who's coming off of being the lead ball handler at Duke, the best player in the nation in college basketball, to kind of scale back a little bit and really contribute to a championship contending level team, which I think the Dallas Mavericks are when they are fully healthy? Earlier in the offseason, I made a video breaking down how the Dallas Mavericks could look or how their defense could look. I never really spoke about how good they could be as a team or how good Cooper Flagg should be with the Dallas Mavericks, because there are a lot of high points with what Cooper Flagg can do. I think this team tends to a lot of his strengths, especially on the defensive side of the floor, but I also think that they hone in on some of his weaknesses, and we're going to talk about that in this video. And we all know why Cooper Flagg was the go-ahead #1 pick in this draft, and that's obviously because of the defense. And I think some of his defensive strengths would be his off-ball play, his rim protection, and his rebounding. These are a lot of things that I think Cooper Flagg could tend well to, because the Dallas Mavericks have a lot of everything. When we look at the defensive side of the ball, they can run extremely big, where they have multiple different lineups of Max Christie, PJ Washington, Cooper Flagg, Anthony Davis, and Daniel Gafford. That can be a huge 6'7" to 6'11", 7-foot type of roster or type of lineup that can make it extremely suffocating. They can play zone, and their wingspans can cover the court. Passing angles become very small. Windows to cut to the basket become very small. Lanes and angles to make layups at high arcing shots, that becomes really small. I think that lineup could be very good. They can also run small, where they run Cooper Flagg at the 4 and play Anthony Davis at the 5 or Daniel Gafford at the 5. They have extreme versatility, and I think that tends to what Cooper Flagg does best. And I think that's a roamer, being a help side rim protector, being somebody that can blow up actions, being somebody that can dig at the ball handler, especially when they're driving past. And I think Cooper Flagg is in a really good situation to be that. He can be used at the top of the zone. He can be used as a low man. He can be used as a roamer. You can put Cooper Flagg on the non-shooting wing, and have him roam around the floor. Just roam around the floor and wreak havoc. Send doubles, dig at the post, play passing lanes, stick his hands at the ball handler and then recover back to a shooter. I think you can use a multitude of different game plans where Cooper Flagg could thrive in. I don't think he has to play the on-ball role because I don't love his on-ball defense against smaller guards. I definitely think he can guard wings, but against smaller guards, I'm not the biggest fan of Cooper Flagg as a point of attack defender. And then as a lone rim protector, I just don't think he's that either. As of right now, I don't think you have to over leverage him on the defensive side. And I think that's what tends to his game perfectly. And this is what makes it so interesting about Cooper Flagg going to a team that's looking to make the playoffs and praying for a deep playoff run once Kyrie Irving returns. You are not going to have to over leverage him at the point of attack. You're not going to have to over leverage him in being one of the better rim protectors on the roster. You have Anthony Davis, who still is probably the best playoff defender in the world. We don't know. He hasn't been in the playoffs. You still have guys like Derek Lively and Daniel Gafford who can protect the rim. You also have, like, within Daniel Gafford's game, he does struggle outside of rim protecting. So Cooper Flagg can assist when we talk about like playing drop coverage or switching. You can keep Daniel Gafford away from switch. You can keep your bigs out of space with guys like Cooper Flagg who are able to come and play at the point of attack, maybe towards the end of the shot clock. So I think there's multiple things that Cooper Flagg can do as a defender that will make him look much better. So now we're going to be talking about the improvement areas for Cooper Flagg, in my opinion, and that's just point of attack, guarding guards. I just don't think he has the foot speed to guard smaller guards. Like if he gets switched on, let's say in the Western Conference, let's say he gets switched on to a Luka Doncic or a Shai Gilgeous-Alexander or an Anthony Edwards, what can you do? What can you do? I think Dallas is more than prepared to assist Cooper Flagg if he gets switched on to an Anthony Edwards or to a Ja Morant or to a LaMelo Ball or a Luka Doncic or a SGA. LaMelo Ball's not in the Western Conference. That's on me. And if I ever am in that situation where Cooper Flagg is at the point of attack and he's in isolation against an Anthony Edwards, against a Luka Doncic, funnel him to Anthony Davis. Funnel him to Anthony Davis. It's that simple. I think Cooper Flagg can thrive in that. Now, this is the part of Cooper Flagg's game that I feel as though is going to struggle the most, and this is why I'm not as quick to give him Rookie of the Year. Now, that's not me saying he's not going to win Rookie of the Year. There's still a chance that Cooper Flagg wins Rookie of the Year, but there's also a chance he may not even start day one. He may not. We have to really contextualize what some of these rookies are. I mean, Cooper Flagg, in the end of the day, is still a rookie. And you have guys like Najee Marshall and PJ Washington who have already played in the system, who really impact a high-level defense in the Dallas Mavericks. So I wouldn't be surprised to say on opening night, Cooper Flagg doesn't start, and I don't think that's crazy. Do I think towards the end of the year he will definitely be starting? Some point in the year he's going to start? 100%. Do I think he's going to play really well with Dallas? 100%. There are just some questions I have offensively, and one that has to do with Cooper Flagg's pull-up three-point shooting, and these are some of the things I want to talk about with his offensive weaknesses. I think the handle does need to be worked on just a little bit, and the off-dribble shooting are the things that I would say Cooper Flagg really needs some improvement in. I know during the Summer League, specifically when he was being guarded by Carter Bryant, who's a more aggressive defender, who's going for the ball more, who wants to play into his defender, play into their jersey, he definitely struggled with some of those matchups, and I know that's the game he dropped 31, but it's way different in the NBA when you're bringing the ball up the floor and it's a Men Thompson on the other side of you. It's Lou Dort on the other side of you. It's Jaden McDaniels on the other side of you. It's Marcus Smart on the other side of you. So I just think it's going to be a little bit tougher for him to be able to create, especially with like having that handle weakness, or just having that struggle handling the ball, especially when he's going to be guarded by multiple really good point of attack wings like the ones I just mentioned. And during Summer League, it looked like he was initiating offense a lot for that team. And I don't know if that's something they're going to have him do a little bit more, especially with D'Angelo Russell here now. I don't think he's going to be initiating offense as much. I wouldn't want to see him do that as much. Like, I don't want you to have to force it down his throat. Have to force it down his throat. But some of his offensive strengths, in my opinion, is the transition game, is the passing ability, is the cutting and finishing aspect. I think he finishes through contact really well. I think he cuts to the basket really well. I think he's really good in transition, being somebody that can be a grab and go guy, because once he builds that head of steam, he can get to the basket efficiently and he can finish efficiently. I just think that he could be somebody that can be flashed in the middle of zones and have him make reads at the free throw line, trying to dissect the zone. Maybe somebody that gets a good spot up mid-range jump shot. I know he's improved in that area over his collegiate tenure. Those are the things I would ask him to do. Now, obviously, we're trying to develop Cooper Flagg into what we think he can be, so there are going to be possessions and lineups instances throughout games where he is the main decision maker, and making those mistakes are great. It's just, how much are you going to do that, knowing how much pressure this franchise is under to make that deep postseason run and to have Cooper Flagg turn out? Because in the end of the day, you don't get chances like this often after you trade your superstar player. You just don't. You just don't. There's no way you get probably the best prospect in the last 5 years on your team after you just traded one of the greatest young offensive superstars in the NBA. This type of stuff just doesn't happen. So when you have like the young player and then the playoff team, how do you implement his development into also trying to win? This isn't just a regular playoff team. This is a team that has probably the most pressure in the entire NBA to make a deep playoff run. This Dallas Mavericks team has that pressure. So with that being said, I would not be surprised if Cooper Flagg comes into the NBA and he struggles for his first month or month and a half of the year. Because if they're trying to give Cooper Flagg more on-ball reps, he could struggle. He could struggle there, especially getting to the rim consistently in the half court, trying to play off the dribble, trying to shoot off the dribble. I think he's probably going to be one of the better transition rookies in the league. I think he's going to be extremely impactful defensively. Offensively, creating his own shot is something I struggle to see him thriving at right out of the gate. But ultimately, I do think Cooper Flagg is going to be one of the better defensive rookies we've seen in a while. I do think he's going to slowly get better as an offensive player, because part of me just thinks he's probably going to struggle within his first month and a half, and the entire basketball media is going to start overreacting. I know how this goes. Just last year, Victor Wembanyama struggled for a month and a half, and we were already getting talks that Chet was better than him. Like, I know how this goes. I know how this goes. So, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you guys let me know in the comment section, what do you guys think Cooper Flagg is going to be doing his rookie season? How well do you think he's going to impact winning for the Dallas Mavericks, who are desperate to make that deep playoff run after they traded Luka Doncic? Let me know what you guys think his stat line will be in the comment section. And with all that being said, I will see you guys next time. Make sure you follow me on Twitter at ATB Sports. Make sure you follow me on Playback at the Buzzer Sports. Make sure you follow me on TikTok at the Buzzer ENT. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Peace.